this video, I'm going to be talking about an event that happened in 2006, September 2006. I was deployed as an Army Infantry Soldier, and our sister company, another company in our battalion, was hit with a VBIED, a Vehicle Borne IED, and they had a couple soldiers killed and like 30 wounded. And we were tasked with going out there immediately right after it happened to find a couple missing soldiers, to find out if they were killed or if they were missing. They had a couple missing soldiers, and we had to go there for recovery and to find the missing soldiers. And then also, so we had to stay there for like 3 days, and on the second day we went back to one of the main bases to resupply, to eat some food and stuff. And on our way back to the bomb site, I got hit by a bomb. It was the first time my truck was directly hit by an IED, and I'll talk about that as well. So I just want to tell you guys thanks for new subscribers. We got some new people that joined along. I appreciate that. It shows that people want to hear these stories. So I appreciate all the new subscribers this past week. And I'm going to keep trying to post these long videos on every Thursday. I'm going to tell a long story, and then I'm posting a couple shorts in between just to kind of, you know, extra content about the story. And so I appreciate the new subscribers. I want you to, if you can you comment below what time you're watching these videos? It helps me to understand when to post them. If you could comment what time you watch the video, that would help. Okay, so 2006 September, I'm in Iraq, and we are doing normal patrols. Like I said before, we're doing normal patrols 12 hours a day. And all of a sudden our platoon sergeant comes running, and he goes, hey, get your stuff together, we gotta go now. And we're like, what's going on? He's like, our other company just got hit. They got hit bad. We got to get over there and help out. So he told us, as we're getting our stuff together, he said, so they were a company that was guarding a power plant. There was a power plant that controlled a lot of the power in this certain area, and the insurgents would go in and take over the power plant. They killed the people there, and they were trying to control the power in that area. So we put a small group of guys, like it was a platoon of like 50 to 60 people or less. I don't know the exact number, but it wasn't 100 like ours. It was like 50 people at the most. And they were charged with guarding this power plant. They had security around it to make sure that people weren't coming and trying to take over, you know, what they were doing before. And so it was like a big square, and right when you drive in, there's a building there, and that's where they had like their barracks where they slept. And they so everybody was sleeping in that building right up by the gate where you drive in. So apparently people had been coming in and out. Sometimes like trucks would come in and out to drop off supplies, like locals, like Iraqis. And every time they would scan them, they would check their ID. And I think on this time, they kind of waved the guy through because they had seen him before. It was a guy they had seen multiple times. So they let him go past all the barriers without doing their full checks, I think. That's what we were told. And then he gets all the way up to where the last stop, or like checking your ID or whatever. And there's like a soldier that comes up to check the ID, and then that's when the guy detonated. And it was a dump truck. They say of thousands of pounds of explosives in the back, and a massive explosion. So it killed, there was soldiers standing next to it, evaporated. Another one next to it, he was killed. There was vehicles nearby, military vehicles, that were like they had exploded. I'll tell more of that when we show up, but I'm just telling you about what happened. The building next to it collapsed. So people were killed, people were wounded, it was chaos. And when they had so many wounded and so many killed, they had to leave because they were now combat ineffective. They were not effective to be able to watch this power plant anymore. So they had helicopters coming in, getting their wounded out. The guys that could walk, you know, put them in their trucks, and they all went back to a bigger base so that they could all get care. And now this power plant was left empty. I mean, still, you know, right after the blast, they left. So that's the information we got. And so we're getting in our trucks, you know, we're kind of hyped up, adrenaline's rushing, and we're like, what's going on? We don't know if we're going to get there and there's going to be guys trying to come in and take over. We don't know if we're going to get in a fight when we get there. So we're rushing over there, and I remember pulling in, and it was like we're driving in the gate, and I'm still a lead vehicle driver at this point, so like I'm the first one through the gate. And I remember it was like something out of a movie. There's, you know, smoke, fires over here, vehicles burning over here. It was like, you know, just a massive explosion aftermath. And, you know, first thing we got out of the truck, like you could literally smell like flesh, diesel, burning. It was just a horrible smell. Like there had been bodies that had just been evaporated, you know, at the most an hour before. And smoke, fire everywhere. The building right there was fully collapsed in the middle. Like it was like a 3-story building just completely collapsed, and rubble, debris everywhere. And so, you know, we all kind of take in the scene. And all right, and so the platoon sergeant starts saying, "Everybody get online. We're gonna go like arms, shoulder to shoulder, and we're gonna walk this whole place searching to see if we can find the missing soldiers, their body parts, to help identify." So there was 2 missing. One was KIA. They recovered their body, and 30 wounded, but there was 2 missing soldiers. I mean, they assumed that they were dead, but so we walked online, and they handed us out these little hazardous bag, like a little hazard bag, and anytime we found like a body part, we would put it in the bag. So we're walking, and you know, someone would yell, "I found one." They reach down, pick it up, put it in a bag. So another one person over here found something, reached it, put it in a bag, and I mean, they were finding like pieces of fingers, pieces of forearms. I mean, it's nasty, but this is what it is. And so we had to keep walking and sweeping through this place, shoulder to shoulder, finding piece by piece and putting them in baggies. And then, so once we swept through each corner, and we picked up everything that we could find. Then we had to go through like all the rubble that was from the building right there. And, you know, it was kind of weird. Like, I remember my platoon sergeant, if you ever listen to this, I was not happy because he was like yelling at us. You know, he's like, "Get on your hands and knees and start," you know, and we were all like not happy. And, he's like, "You guys aren't motivated. You know, you guys need to move faster. You guys need to," you know, he's yelling at us. And we're like sitting here, I'm picking up pieces of body in the rubble, putting them in bags, and we're getting yelled at the same time. It was not a fun day. But we were going through all the rubble, and it was kind of crazy. I found, you know, certain people's bodies are evaporated, but I found like a DVD of the movie United 93, which was about the plane that crashed in the field in Pennsylvania, but it was about the terrorist attacks, and it was just kind of crazy to I actually have a picture. I picked it up, and out of all the rubble, to find that DVD. It must have been one of the soldiers, you know, like in the building. But so we spent a whole day doing that, going through the rubble. We found parts. I mean, the biggest part I found was probably like this big, you know. But I found a piece of the name tag of one of the female soldiers. There was one female out there, and of course she was one of one, unfortunately. I mean, it's terrible. But I found a piece of her name tag, and I actually knew who she was because she was a cook that would travel to some of the bases, and like once a week or so they'd bring us hot chow, and so she would come to our base to bring food, and so I actually knew her name. And then the 2 guy soldiers, I didn't know them, but so we found enough parts and pieces of their uniform to confirm that they were dead and not missing. Because if they were missing, then all of a sudden, you know, it'd be like a massive recovery effort. You know, we'd be trying to get everybody out there to get these missing soldiers. But once we confirmed they were dead, then it's like, okay, well, we know they're dead. So another thing too is like there was a wall there where the truck detonated, and there was like an outline of one of the soldiers. Like one of the soldiers, I took a picture of that too. I can't get into my hard drive. I have all these pictures, but I have another picture of where someone was standing next to the dump truck when it detonated, and you can literally see the outline of their silhouette on the cement barrier, like the smoke outline of their body. So we went through all the rubble, and that was day 1. So now the nighttime came, like we can't see anymore, And we're like, okay, now what? So we're like, all right, find a place to sleep, and we'll go at it tomorrow. As soon as the sun comes up, we'll go at it again. Just keep going through all the rubble, picking up any pieces of human remains that we can find. And so we're like, well, where do we sleep? We're like, I don't know, find a spot. So guys were like sleeping on the hood of the truck. One guy was sleeping on top of the truck. We were somewhere sleeping on the ground. I mean, it was so hot. You didn't want to be in the truck because it was hotter in the truck than outside. So we were sleeping all over the place, like wherever we could find. You know, it's 25 of us, 4 trucks. So we were sleeping wherever we can. So next morning, we go at it again, and all day long. We did like the shoulder to shoulder, where we went through the whole base again to make sure we didn't miss anything. The whole perimeter of the base, because I mean, we found stuff that was probably like 200 yards from the explosion. We found pieces throughout this base. I mean, it literally is, I mean, so we went all the way through the place again. We went through the rubble again, and now by the second day, they actually got a excavator out to help sift some of the rubble. So we went through what we could, but then it helped like lay it out, and it was laid out like a football field length. And again, hands and knees crawling, going through the rubble. So later that day, it was starting to get dark again, and they're like, all right, we didn't have any food, water, resupply, or nothing in 24 hours. So we're like, all right, well, you guys probably are hungry, you want to get some food and stuff. So you guys can head back to one of the bigger bases, which was like 25 miles away, and go there and get resupplied, eat some food, and then come back. So we went back, we drove back to the base, and we went into one of the chow. I remember we went into the chow hall, and there was, the way we walked in, we were dirty, covered in crap, like, I mean, literally smoke on our face, dirt on our face. We pulled in to this chow hall, and everybody was kind of looking at us like, what just happened to these guys? Where did these guys just come from? It was kind of an interesting experience. We sat down and ate, and we get some looks by people in nice clean uniforms that don't ever leave the base. And but that was interesting. But we ate, and then we got back in our trucks and headed back out. And so on our way back, we're driving back to the power plant, and we're getting kind of close to where I remember where the turn was to pull in. I'm in the lead vehicle. It's nighttime. I had my lights on. Actually, I don't think I have my lights on. I think we were driving dark out, or night vision. So we were driving actually with our night vision, and we get close to the gate, or where I see it, and I'm like, this is the turn, right? And right as I start turning to go off the road, boom, hit an IED front right. And I was knocked out for a minute. Everybody was kind of knocked out, and I came to with like smoke all in the truck, and the guy behind me was hit me in the back of the head. My buddy, he was like, drive. He just hit me in the back of the head, and I woke up. And whenever you get hit by an IED, the SOP, the standard operating procedure, is to drive through the kill zone, because they'll hit you with an IED, and then that's usually when an ambush happens. And they'll start shooting at you. They'll launch mortars. And I'll tell another story where that happened. We had an IED and started launching mortars at us. So you want to push through the kill zone. And I was like, he was hit me in the back of the head. My first reaction, I mean, obviously I was knocked out for a second, but I wasn't pushing the gas. And he's hit me on the back of the head, and I come to, and I push the pedal, and I hear the vroom of the engine, and it's not moving. The truck's not moving. And I remember still at the same time, my sergeant next to me, he's like slumped over, and I'm like nudging him, like, Sergeant, you all right? Everybody all right? And I was panicking. Everybody okay? And I'm nudging him, and he starts waking up, and he's all right. Nobody got seriously injured. And he comes to, and checking the gunner. Luckily, the gunner, who was facing this way, his turret, we had bulletproof glass, very thick glass, and it's only 3-sided, and he was facing this way, and 3 sides of it were peppered with shrapnel all over. Like, it looked like 100 bullet holes hit the shrapnel, and he was pointing this way. And so if he had been pointing that way, the shrapnel would have hit him right in the face, probably killed him. So I'm hitting the gas, making sure everybody's all right. We're not moving, and all the tires were blown out. The front right had a big explosion, chunk taken out. The tires were out. There was shrapnel all over, smoke still in the air. and they're calling up on the radio. They're like, "You guys all right? Confirm you guys are right. We need a head count. Everybody okay?" And we're finally coming to, and the platoon sergeant's on the radio. Like, "Yeah, we're okay, but vehicle cannot move. We can't move." He's like, "All right, stay there. We'll come get you." So they come up alongside of us, and we all get out of the vehicle and pile in their truck. And they're like, "Well, what do we do? Do we sit here and wait? We still got to get to the power plant. That's still unmanned." Usually when you get hit by an IED, you got to wait for EOD to come to do like a post-blast analysis. And so we're like, "What do we do?" So like, "All right, we'll call up EOD." We did. They're like, "It's gonna be like 40 minutes till we get out there." So we pile in this guy's truck, and then we all leave. And we leave this truck there that just been hit and can't drive, and we go to the power plant. And later those guys showed up and they towed that vehicle and got it repaired. So we got back to the power plant, and the next day, the third day, we did the same thing. We went through the rubble, picking up pieces, and confirmed what happened. So that's pretty much the end of it. We confirmed that there was 3 dead, 30 wounded, Vehicle Borne IED. And what's crazy is I was trying to do some research on this to try and find the names and the exact day, because I didn't remember the exact day, and there's like nothing on the internet. I can't find a single article about this day, and it just blows my mind that a massive attack like that, there's not even one article on the internet about it. I mean, I searched every different way you could search, and I could find the soldier's name, soldier killed VBIED in Baghdad, and or near Baghdad, but nothing about the actual incident that happened. To me, it's a pretty significant event. But thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. That helps to build traffic when you comment. So comment if you know somebody that served, if you know a veteran. Comment what time you watched the video. And thank you guys for following along and allowing me to tell my story. Take care, and God bless.